like the Constitution.
Yeah, this is
Old
really
school
like
cursive.
printer. Did you take some classes when you were in school? How?
Ever since third grade, it was just false.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Thanks for being here. This is a room full again. Great to see that. I hope everyone had a good break. It's been 2 weeks since we had a meeting, so it's good to be back and see some familiar faces. Welcome back, and I'm glad you joined back. And then our new guests, thank you for joining us. We are at meeting number 484. My name is Chirag Mapara, and I am the Sergeant of Arms. As a Sergeant of Arms, I set up the room with audio, all the equipment, and then get the room ready for the meeting. Just some ground rules: silence your cell phones and mobile devices, and if you have to get up, do so quietly, so that we are not disturbing the speakers. So since we are at a brand new year, I just wanted to ask if someone wants to come up, maybe one or two people, since we have three speeches today, quickly in a minute or so, share what you enjoyed during the holidays, or if you want to share your new resolutions. So if I can get one or two volunteers who want to share something along those lines.
Why don't you share yours? Oh, no?
Yeah. Good. What do you enjoyed during the holidays? One thing, or your one new year resolution, either or. At just 1 minute.
Okay.
Let's know.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. The one thing which I like during holiday season is just I relax. I did not literally think about the work, and I think it was a good break for me. And the reason it could come to my way is because I was changing the role in my company, and that's why I didn't have to think about any work. So that was relaxing and very welcoming, at least to me. The new resolutions, there is a whole list of things, but what I want to do with 2025 is go more structured way. So I'm preparing an Excel sheet. I did not do anything, no resolution until 5th of January. 6th of January, I started, okay, what I need to do it. I'm preparing an Excel sheet, and then I'm going to go a structured way. How do I go about in 2025? So thank you.
Thank you. So anyone else? Go ahead. Phoebe?
Good evening, everyone. Glad to see everybody. So talking about New Year, I was in Tahoe, but working stressfully. Why? So in addition to my normal work, I was busy preparing for the event that is happening on January 22nd. And more stressed out is I'm going to host, I'm going to be the moderator, and right now I am a little terrified and I regret. Why I regret? I didn't show up in the last few months. So my New Year resolution is coming here regularly and practice. Thank you.
All right. One more. Someone newer to the club. So you want
Okay, so New Year's resolution for me is similar to what you had said of like wanting more structure and also sticking to the things that I say that I'm going to get done that day. So having that to-do list and making sure I actually do it without letting my emotions get involved of wanting to do it or not. So that's what I'm hoping to focus on.
Great. Thank you. All right, Maria, you want to come up with yeah. I'm curious what you have to say.
Sure. Hi, my name is Maria Kovaleva, and what I liked most about this holidays is my family, because I didn't go anywhere because of two cats. It's very hard to find boarding for two cats for Christmas, but we enjoyed this family time together, and a lot of changes, and my family time changed my approach to my work. And this year, I will focus on authenticity. And I will explore the authenticity from different angles, the limits, the pressures to perform. So authenticity versus performance. And today I was preparing for my next speech, and it's evaluation of my pathway. Not evaluation, but reflection on my pathways that I completed level 5. So I completed the whole pathway. And yeah, I will go through the lens of authenticity versus performance and what I learned. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll share what I did. I stayed in town. I didn't travel this time. Usually when I take time off, I'm either traveling within the country or abroad. And this is the first time I actually took some time off and didn't travel. It was great to explore locally. There are a lot of good things in our backyard. So it was really, really fun without any stress. The other thing I did was I've been reading books on Hollywood over the last year or so, and it's really been fascinating for me. And based on that book, I started reading a book on Alfred Hitchcock, and it's been an amazing book because from a historical standpoint, it's sharing a lot of history as they're talking about the movies, and just overall how talented Alfred Hitchcock is. And I'm yeah, there are multiple things I'm kind of taking it from. Taking from there is the storytelling. He's very big on suspense, and he kind of shares his tips on how he goes about creating suspense. And also it talks about how Hollywood is, or at least I realize that Hollywood is not that old. It's just about 100 years old. And even through those times, how the technology changed from like silent movies to sound and then color and everything. So it's been a really, yeah, I'm enjoying. I still haven't finished the book, but this is how far I've got, and it's really interesting. So with that, I'll hand it over to our brand new president, Dan Wen.
Thank you. Hi, my dear friends. Good evening. Happy New Year first. I'm truly honored and excited to step into the new role of a president this year. Really appreciate everyone give me this chance. For me, the role is a way, is both a challenge and a way to give back the community, which has supported me so much on my own journey. As moment, everyone already say, since the new year begin, everyone have the new goal. So for our club, I just received the email from Chris. So I think this is the best goal for all of us. The goal is SMART. Let me introduce a little bit SMART goal for 2025. First, SMART, S, it means specific. What skill you want in this club? Maybe for me, I like to improve my public speaking. And second is measurable. Like a Moment said, everyone want to deliver more speech content. Track your speech. This year, how many deliver practice? Measurable. The second is achievable. Achievable is means challenging yourself, but it's realistic. It's not a big goal you cannot reach. So just balance your goal and your style. The last another one is relevant. Reconnect with why you join this Toastmaster. So everyone can think about, like Bobby just said, she want to no stress for about hosting, something like that. Okay, then the last is the time bound. If you want the more effort, you need to spend more time. So that's our goal, I think, for everyone. For me personally, I already reflect on last year. Then I think for me, in the past 2 years. I think since I joined here almost 2 years, I'm just follow my heart without not very clear target, just the emotional learner. So the progress is so slow. So that's why this year I will follow our master, or follow our club, go smart. Let's make it on 2025. Thank you.
All right, Dan Wen, incoming president. Thank you, Dan Wen. So welcome, Happy New Year, everyone. Christian Eddy, VP of Education, happy to be back. And I know there's probably record enrollments in the gyms of the world, the physical gyms where we're exercising our body, but we're all here. This is our speaking and leadership gym, right? And the more we come, the more fit we're going to be in that manner and the better we're going to be in the future. So I can remember the first day that Dan Wen came in and she was a little shy and she mentioned that she wanted to work on her English abilities, and look at her now. She's just flourishing. She's getting up here. This confidence is contagious, and we love your energy and we love your stories. So thank you for doing that. I know you said you were willing to be an officer. She didn't mention be the president, right? So let's one more time, give a round of applause for Dan Wen. And she always does it with a big smile on her face. So I know we had a long opening. We want to make sure we end at a reasonable time. Before we get into it, I want to bring up Abdullah. He's our guest for tonight. Please come on up. This is how we do it. We put you in the deep end. Just give us about 30 seconds, how you heard about the club, what you're hoping to accomplish, and what you'd like to get out of tonight. So round of applause for Abdullah, please. Welcome up. Of course.
So I'm sorry, it's my first time speaking publicly, so it's not that great. Excuse me. My name is Abdullah. I'm a senior computer science student, just graduated from UC Santa Cruz. And the reason I'm here is because maybe you can tell I'm not really that good at public speaking. When I was on campus presenting projects and all that stuff, it wasn't that great. I'm very shy at speaking and all that. Individually, I'm not, but when it's public, I'm more nervous. So how I heard about this is I took a personal coach through Kerpley, if you guys know it, and he suggested to go to a Toastmaster. And he suggested to look around if there's Toastmasters in the Bay Area, which there was, and this is the closest to me. So that's how I knew about it, and that's how I resisted.
Perfect, Abdullah, great job. I'll give you some quick feedback. I think you had a great presence up here. You seem very natural. You seem poised. Maybe step forward a little bit and let the light shine on you, so to speak. But I think you had a great presence, and you kind of mentioned a couple times, hey, I'm not that good at it, or I'm shy. I think a lot of times that's what we're all feeling inside, right? In our hearts and our minds, but the audience doesn't see that, right? And the more we realize that, the more we have that confidence and we can work through it. So great job. Welcome back, Amber. Happy New Year. I don't want to leave our virtual members hanging over there. Thank
Happy
you.
New Year, everyone.
Yeah.
Great to see you. Great to see you, Vivian.
Good to see you. And our other guests on, can you please introduce yourself and what brought you in tonight for your first meeting?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me as a guest tonight. My name is Sumati and I work in tech, and I have a New Year's resolution to improve my public speaking skills and get rid of stage fright. So I was looking up online and Toastmasters came up as a great resource. So just hoping to sit in today and see how you guys run your meetings and how you support each other. So thanks for having me again, and Happy New Year.
Perfect. Happy New Year. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, there's a lot of community clubs, there's corporate clubs. You need confidence in these abilities when you're on a virtual call. You also need them when you're in person or in a hybrid environment like we are today. So there's a lot of mechanics, and then there's the art of it as well. All right, well, let's get into it. So we have 3 speakers tonight. We have Tom, Dan Wen, and Seonghwa. Wow, really strong out of the gate. 3 speakers tonight. Thank you for that. Love that enthusiasm. Table topics by Electra. So maybe Electra, can you tell us a bit about the topic at least and give us a little sneak peek? Sure, yeah, briefly, sure.
Happy New Year, everyone. I kind of didn't want to talk about the topic because Chirag sort of stole my thunder. Since it is the new year. I just wanted to let everybody know that I used to set New Year's resolutions and I no longer do that. I set goals. So that is what I'm going to be asking from you all tonight, some questions about that.
Perfect. Thank you, Electra. You know, it doesn't always have to be a big surprise what we're going to talk about. It's like get the juices flowing and hopefully a lot of hand raisers when it's your opportunity to come up here and share with us what your goals are. We're all trying to focus on different things and some similar goals as well. Okay, speech evaluations by Maria, Phoebe, and Natalie. Thanks for stepping up for that open roll. Appreciate that. Functionary reports. Our timer is Carl. Please come up, Carl. Tell our new members and new guests about the timer roll. Round of applause for Carl. Happy New Year. The same. Thank you.
Happy New Year, everybody. And I failed to mention that my resolution is to do a little bit of more better personal time management. Otherwise, I don't want to have too many resolutions because I know I'll never keep them. I know from experience, long experience. And time management is really very important though in a speech. And I'm in a discussion group, and today I was listening, and my gosh, there was a motor mouth running on and on and on. Couldn't shut her off. And it was getting to be a little bit embarrassing. And I thought to myself, that is something that reminds me of Toastmasters and what not to do. So, and I myself, when I gave a speech some time ago, I ran actually 3 minutes over, and I was very gently reminded that I had better do a little bit of better time management. And it occurred to me, why did this happen? During my rehearsals by myself, I was okay, although at the upper limit. And it occurred to me that when I was standing up here and speaking, I wasn't reading it as fast. You know, during my practice, I was reading it and I was referring to the notes and all of this, and it went very, very quickly. And when I was standing up here, there were a few little pauses when I had to remember something. I was speaking a little bit more slowly. And so maybe this is something to remember when you actually are practicing your speech, that the time is not necessarily what you're going to actually be doing when you stand up here in front of everybody and you pause a little bit longer and you know, maybe you're a little bit nervous, you can't remember everything. Well, anyway, get to the point here. A normal speech here would be between 5 and 7 minutes. And I will be showing you at 5 minutes the green, and about 30 seconds before, no, about 6 minutes, about halfway, but in between, I'll show you the yellow. And then I'll show you the red. Now, sitting at that end so the speaker can see me without everyone else, without disturbing anyone else with when I'm flapping my arms and so. And the table topics will be between 1 and 2 minutes, and I'll give notice again with the green and the yellow and the red. And speech evaluations will be between 2 and 3 minutes. And the general evaluator at the end, the timing is when everybody starts putting on their coats and leaving and yawning. So anyway, that's it. That's the job.
All right. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate that. And I think it goes back to authenticity, right? Sometimes we're so concerned about how we seem and how we look to our audience members and how they perceive us, but actually it's not just a performance. Really, it's about the content. Is it interesting? Is it valuable? Is it relevant? Is it useful? And hopefully the idea too, Abdullah, is that you can speak as comfortable to an entire audience as you already do to another single individual. That's the goal of being consistent with Toastmasters. We have our ups and our downs. We all get nervous and a little anxious sometimes, but we work through it together. Okay. And sometimes we're trying to slow down versus speed through our speech. We're trying to pace ourselves and be okay with that tempo. So, all counter Chirag, please come on up. Tell us about that role.
Thank you, Chris. So as the R counter, I'll be looking for filler words, which we use as crutch. It'll be words like and, so, but, you know, and sounds like or. So I'll be looking for those words, and I will be reporting at the end of the meeting.
Thank you. Perfectly demonstrated. Thank you, Chirag. Grammarian Amber, a virtual member, Amber, welcome back. And you have the word of the day. Tell us about the role of grammarian.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amber, and I'll be your grammarian today. As grammarian, I'll be taking note of language and grammar use of all speakers, noting anything that's incomplete or mispronunciations, as well as grammatical mistakes. And then I also will be introducing the word of the day and keeping track of that throughout the meeting and report back on who was able to use it during the meeting today. The word of the day is tome, Tome, and it's a formal word for a book, especially a very large book, a very thick book, often associated with scholarly books like a textbook. So the use of this word in an example would be, we picked a tome on the Ghana Empire for our history project. Thank you.
Good job, Amber. Thank you. And I can see several scholarly journals in the room. That's something that I personally want to do in 2025. Ray Thomas, one of our members, always journals his takeaways from the meeting, the things to do more of, or the things he can do less of, and just any things that we think we can help us. So maybe pick up a journal and just have it be your Toastmasters journal. Just bring it for yourself. Thank you, Amber. And our last functionary is Anand, General Evaluator. Welcome, Anand, please.
Thank you. My name is Anand Kumar, and I will be the general evaluator for this evening. As a part of the general evaluator role, what I'll be doing is I'll be reviewing the meeting and presenting my report at the end of the meeting. I will be looking for how we did overall run this meeting time-wise. Did we able to fill up all the roles, and did we introduce the new guests, and overall the use of technology, or is there anything else we can do better, how we structured our meeting and all things. I hope I don't have to talk too much about what we can do better, but I think we are heading to a good start of 2025. Thank you.
Okay. On to the exciting content that we have today. And for our newer guests and members, the entire meeting is designed to facilitate as much public speaking as possible, whether it's already pre-selected and pre-reserved, or there's opportunities for people to just step up and do impromptu speaking. So that's what we're here to accomplish. Our first speaker is Tom Bartese. He will be introduced by Maria. The intent of the speech evaluator to introduce the speaker is to make sure that they do a proper introduction of the topic, the context, the speaker, so the speaker can more professionally and naturally come up and take over right from the beginning and capture and captivate our attention right from the start of your speech versus the preamble. So with that, let me introduce Maria to introduce and kick off Tom Bartese. Maria.
Thank you. I'm honored to be an evaluator for Tom because he's really very experienced Toastmasters, and the title of this speech is Flow and Stoke. And let me introduce the pathway. It's a second pathway for Tom, and the name of the pathway is Engaging Humor. So be ready with your faces. And it's level 2 and project 2. And the purpose of the project is to give a speech on a topic which is not familiar for every member of Toastmasters. So something unexpected, something unfamiliar. And I should say that Tom's speech will touch on the hidden appeal of one of his favorite pursuits. And speech number 38 in Toastmasters. And just imagine a shelf of many books of a beautiful story. And today you're looking at tome number 38. Let's open it.
Thank you for that fabulous introduction, Maria. Just to be clear, yes, my pathway is engaging humor, but the purpose of the speech does not require that this particular speech have humor in it. So I knew Maria was saying, get ready, but there's not much humor tonight. It's not the purpose. It's to give it on a topic that most of the members may be unfamiliar with. Alive. How many of us have felt that exhilaration of being totally alive? Now, I'm not talking about those moments of fleeting pleasure or happiness or achievement. I'm talking about something a little deeper than that, where something that really lights us up, that leaves us tingling with life from head to toe. Unfortunately for me, I have an activity that provides me with that feeling, and that's surfing. Now, I know that most of you are thinking, hey, Tom, aren't you supposed to be giving a speech about something that most of you are unfamiliar with? Yes, and I know most of you are familiar with surfing, at least on the surface. But tonight I want to talk to you about the hidden appeal of surfing from a surfer. And I know there must have been times when we've all been on a bluff at the coast overlooking the ocean or Monterey Bay, and we see the surfers in the water on their boards, the cold, frigid water bobbing up and down. And occasionally they'll paddle for a wave and either catch it or wipe out. And when they wipe out, they gather themselves and they paddle back out. And when you're standing on the shore, you must be asking yourself, why do these fools choose to do this? Well, simply put, it makes us feel alive. It gives us a tremendous appreciation of what it means to feel alive. Let me try and explain. There's the obvious appeal of surfing. You're in nature. It's very a physical activity, and there's some camaraderie involved with surfing. You're out there with your friends or fellow surfers. But there is this less obvious appeal that most of you are probably unfamiliar with that only you can feel by doing it. It's something that I think about as a heightened state of being. It's a powerful feeling that draws us back into the water, the cold water, time and time again, when most of you are still lying in your warm beds, right? Because it makes us feel alive. Well, why is that? Well, for me, there's two very powerful sensations at play. One is an in the water sensation, and the other is an out of water sensation. The in the water sensation is when you get on the board and you catch that wave and you're riding down that wave. It requires total focus, tunnel vision. All our thoughts are quickly washed away, and we're just focused on going down that wave. Nothing else matters. We become one with the wave, and that's something that is referred to as flow, or the flow state, where time seemingly stands still. And then there's the out of water sensation. So now we're done surfing. We come up on shore. We peel off our wetsuit. We clean up. And all of a sudden, this energy comes over us. I talk about a blissful glow that warms our spirit, and that stays with us throughout the day. And as surfers, we call that stoke, or being stoked. Some of you may have heard the feeling of being on cloud 9, right? Where you're walking on clouds. That's that feeling. And so there you have it, those two very powerful sensations of flow and stoke. That gives me this incredible feeling of being alive. And so that is the hidden appeal of surfing. And I've yet to find any other activity that provides me with that tremendous feeling. But the good news for all of you is surfers do not have a monopoly on this sensation, on this feeling. I believe it's accessible to all of us in many different ways. Maybe it's a pre-dawn hike to the top of a mountain or a hilltop to watch the sun come up, right? Maybe it's taking a cold plunge in an ice bath. Maybe it's going on a 10-day meditation, silent retreat, as one of our members has done. Or maybe it's even getting in front of 100 strangers and giving a speech. I think there's common elements with all these. We need to find an activity that requires us to be focused, that takes us a little bit out of our comfort zone, that requires us to use most of our senses, if not all our senses. And I do believe there should be a nature aspect to this activity. Maybe it's feeling the sun on our face or our lungs being filled with fresh air. Whatever it is, I would encourage all of you to take this new year as an opportunity to try and find those activities with intention. Find your flow, find your stoke, experience the exhilaration of what it means to be truly alive. Since after all, isn't that really one of the most important reasons why we're all here? Thank you.
Good job, Tom Bertese. Round of applause one more time for Tom. He was smiling from beginning to end. He was feeling the stoke. He was in the flow. We got some new words, right? We're definitely not surfers, but we can kind of maybe blend in a little bit with Tom. Well, thanks for helping us feel alive here as we visualized all the things you described to us. It was a beautiful scene in our minds. At this time, let's give Tom some feedback. For those that are members or guests or online, there's a QR code for those that are here today. It's a Google feedback speaker form. If you're online, you can go to losgatostoastmasters.org, and on the homepage, there is a direct link to the same speaker feedback form. Take about a minute to do that. And for our guests like Abdullah and Suma, this is not something you get in regular life. People don't give you feedback, good or bad generally, on how you sounded. So this is another benefit and element of Toastmasters. Finish up our comments, please. And Tom, I think you convinced everyone in this room to go to Costco and get a foam board and get out there with you. You'll have your crew around you. That's too early. All right, everybody, let's get to our speaker two, Dan Wen, who will be introduced by Phoebe. So Phoebe, please introduce Dan Wen. Let us know what she's working on, what the subject of her speech is, so she can get out here, center stage, and just take right off. Thank you, Phoebe.
Thank you, Toastmaster. My dear Toastmasters, it is my pleasure to welcome Dan Wen Chen, I'm sorry. So Dan Wen is going to present her speech. It is called The Power of Mentoring. She is on her pathway called Presentation Master, and she's on level 2. The project is to introduce mentoring. And the purpose of this is to let us know the difference between mentoring and a coach. And she wants you to know that how important mentoring it is. So let's welcome Dan Wen Chen.
Thank you. I try. Okay. Okay, good evening, my dear Toastmaster fellow. Tonight, like Phoebe said, I will finish the project is introduce the mentoring. So my title, speech title is, topic is the power of mentoring. So first, I'd like to introduce about the concept of mentoring and share a little bit my own experience. Mentoring, as I see it, it's more than just guidance and advice. It's a long-term relationship about how to have the power of to shape your growth, inspire your potential, and help you navigate the challenges. So when I first heard about this topic about the mentoring, I thought of it's a long-term relationship with someone, then encourage you or go through all your challenge. However, when I reflect on my own life, I realize I should say I never had the traditional long-term mentoring. The realization was a little bit disappointing for myself. Okay, by then I start to look deeper. While I don't have the one consistent mentor, but I do have encountered many of people around me who played the role of mentoring in a smaller or short time, meaningful ways. For example, I think when I was a child, my parents taught me how to study, how to learn the class. I have a teacher and I have a friends, especially during my my hard time. I learned some therapy philosophy at the Heaven Institute at Canada. I think I met the teacher whose wisdom and guidance significantly influenced my thinking. One of the most valuable takeaway from the program is reflective practice was called heart-to-heart talk. So until now, I think I always use every year. I remember since 2019, I moved to the US. I have done this with my daughter every year. Now is already 6 times. I feel very valuable, and that moment are incredible, powerful. They help us, my daughter and I, connected and grow as an individual, as a family. In some way, I feel I'm mentoring my daughter, but in another way, I think she also mentor me. We learn from each other. I think this is a good merge for us. This experience has taught me that mentoring is not limited to the formal of the tradition idea of the one person consistently help you. So it can be mutual exchange, a partnership like a co-worker or Toastmaster member, everywhere if you listen or follow the step. In Chinese, we will say, 3 people work together, always have one is your mentor, something like that. So if you want to learn anywhere, you can learn. But indeed, I still really deeply hope to find the one person can consistently in this day to help me along a way through my life's journey. Especially I moved to the US I think everything is new for me. Everything actually is very challenging. Even a little bit is saying, I don't know how to deal with that. So, so this topic also remind me of the relationship I learned from the podcast, like about the Chinese famous investor Li Lu with Charlie Munger. They have a long-term relationship. They meet like every month in the morning very earlier. Munger will help Li Lu to grow up. The result is his wisdom and long-term guidance played a significant role in shaping Li Lu's career, especially investment something. Okay, for me, in closing, I think for me, I'd like to leave you guys with some thought. Mentorship is not about having one perfect guide. It's about finding meaningful in the guidance and the inspiration we encountered along the way. So let's cherish ourselves, reflecting ourselves, then keeping our heart open to find the one mentor ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan Wen. Great speech.
Thank you.
Lots of wisdom in that.
Yeah.
I think we all, at least I would love to have a mentor, and I think I've had different ones in my life over the years, family or people I've worked with. But the thing that stuck out for me was you have to be open, right? There's mentors all around us.
Yeah.
There's things that we can learn by just watching something or somebody, or just listening to them. It's not always going to be, I'm going to sit in front of you and ask you what I should do next. That rarely should be the interaction, right? It's deeper than that. Someone can coach you for the short term, but what about a mentor, someone that you can relate to, someone that can help you change your perspective on life? So very impactful. Thank you for sharing. Let's give Dan Wen a little bit of feedback, about a minute worth of feedback, please. It's kind of boring for some reason. Yeah, Natalie's like, hey, what can we do about this? Yeah, I know. Pressure's on, right? Okay, let's wrap up our notes here. Sung Hua is next. Always fun and surprising and thought-provoking, Sung Hua. Natalie, your speech valuer, will be introducing you, Sung Hua. So let's introduce Natalie. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I will be speech evaluator for Sanhua. And from my short experience here, I've heard a speech from Sanhua. It was very interesting and had really deep life lessons, even though it was about simple things on if you listen to the words, but if you think deeply, it is really inspiring. And I am sure this speech will be as interesting. And the title of today's speech is Sweet Lie. This speech is to inspire people and make them happy. What better could it be for the new year? Let's welcome Sanhua.
Good evening, guest member. Thank you for being here. I'm very excited for have a opportunity to make a speech in first meeting in person in the new year. I thought all of you had been doing well in the holiday. In this holiday, we drop off 2024 and embrace 2025 new year. I spent amazing, interesting holiday I never had. I have learned more. On the Christmas Eve, I went to my daughter family. My grandson and granddaughter was expecting to receive the Christmas gift. My grandson told me, "Grandpa, I had written a letter to Santa. I told him what is my favorite gift, and I will receive tomorrow morning." He excited said. And then he turned to his young sister, "Claire, you shouldn't receive the gift because you didn't write a letter to Santa. He didn't know what is your favorite gift." My granddaughter cried, "I want to receive the Christmas gift." "Stop!" My daughter shut. "Kevin, did you receive Christmas gift when you was 3 years or 4 years old?" "Yes," my grandson answered. "At that time, you didn't write a letter to Santa. How did you receive the gift?" "You know, Santa has a secret power. He knows every good children what is favorite gift. Don't worry, Claire. You should receive your gift tomorrow morning." Two children was very excited, happy. And next morning, my grandson told me and shared their gift us and said Santa promised them if he was good children, he would receive Christmas gift next year. I asked, "What is good children?" My grandson said, "Good children is study harder and do good things. For example, organize the room, clean up, be nice to other kids in school." Wow, what is amazing story. Apparently, all of the gift was bought by their own parents and put under the Christmas tree. But with the help of the Santa, it can really inspire the children. So I think this is not common gift. It's a children wish, a hope, aspiring. I think maybe many American people use this story to inspire their children. It's really amazing. So I feel like I want to learning science sweet story, sweet word, because the sweet line word can make people happy, can make a good situation to talk together. Talking is the honey of the, is honey helps people sticking together. Today, I want to see a sweet life. In 2025 new year, the stock market will have a great performance. Yes, every people can make a lot of money. Have a good time. Thank you very much.
Drop the mic. I told you, Sung Hwa never disappoints. You know, he makes us laugh. And he's here as well. You've been here for several years now, Sung Hwa. And you keep coming back and saying, like, I'm so happy I'm here. You guys are so supportive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But we get so much from you. And you share wisdom and insight, and you just make it fun. So thank you. And you taught me a lesson about how to turn something around when my older daughter is picking on my younger daughter and making her cry. How should I rephrase that and realign it? All right, let's give Sung Hwa a little bit of feedback on the speaker feedback form. We'll wrap up our comments for Sung Hwa. And for our new guests and members, we do post those to Trello later, so you can see anonymously the feedback from everybody that heard your speech. We also record the Zoom session and we make it a link accessible only to our members, so you can see how you sounded and how you performed and what your presence was up here. Because sometimes it can seem like a bit of a blur when we get up in front of an audience. Now, it's been a great meeting. We want to end somewhat on time, so I'm going to make an executive decision and rearrange some of the items that we have on our agenda. And I want to prioritize it with the most important, which is to get our evaluators to come up, 1, 2, 3, to do your speaker evaluations. Then we know that table topics is a fan favorite of our guests and our newer members. So for anybody who has not spoken this evening and does not have a role, you have preference for table topics. And if time permits, we will get to functionaries. If not, we will need to drastically compress it or skip functionaries for this meeting. I hope that's okay with everybody. Trying to prioritize. All right, so with that, let's skip to speech evaluations. Maria, you are up. Please keep it to 2 to 3 minutes. Welcome, Maria, please.
Thank you. So I am evaluating Tom's speech, the 38th one. And it's hard to be evaluation. You see, it's very hard to find some improvements, but I did find. I will start with amazing things like hand gestures, the presence here, the energy communication, I call it. Like we all felt it. We felt the breeze, the waves, the droplets, you know, and how it makes you alive when you're surfing. I could relate. And I remembered my experience going into the sea all year around. It makes me alive in the cold water. Yes. I really like how you connected to the title, explained what is flow, being in the floor, and what is stoked. Now we know. It's like when we pause here during the speech, it's called stoked. Thank you for alternating obvious appeal of the surfing on the surface and the deeper meaning and your personal experience and what you felt. And connection to the Toastmasters, standing in front of 100 strangers. We can all relate, even 15 of us here standing in front of many people. And it might be exciting, it might be frightening, it might be everything that we want it to be, right? Connection to nature, and that's where authenticity lives, right? Beautiful poses, smiling all the way, because it's what makes you alive. We could feel it. What is missing is storytelling. I really missed storytelling, and you're great in it. And your stories were engaging and touching, and I didn't notice it here. There were a lot of beautiful descriptive language. We could relate, but there's no actual story. And something else I put on the evaluation form about gestures, but I think it's just your way, right? You know, maybe there's a secret there. But I really like how you did the poses, the gestures, very meaningful. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Evaluation. Next evaluator, Phoebe. Welcome to the stage, Phoebe. 2 to 3 minutes, please.
Thank you. So Danwen, congratulations for another great speech. I remember about maybe more than 6 months ago, I had the pleasure to give you the feedback when you were with your daughter. And I see the improvement that you have. So please keep up the great work. So I love the way you present, that you involve your personal story and also experience. You talk about what you thought about what mentorship is. You thought was a long term, but then you realize that it doesn't have to be long term, right? So I like the way you say mentorship, it's about finding a meaningful and inspiration encounter and ways to challenge yourselves to enhance the relationship, right? I think that's very true. I remember I have mentors, and I have mentors, actually it was Chris, right? After I delivered the same speech that you were talking about. So mentorship is not only about how you receive, but you can seek out and ask for mentorship, right? There are tons of programs you can have that. So what I would see, to see you probably, I can challenge you and what you could do slightly better. Because when you talk about your goal and the pathway, is talk about the difference between mentorship and also a coach. So perhaps you can mention a little bit about what coach is, how different it is, right? So I would challenge you next time. So when you present both ways, then you deliver the difference. But overall, great speech, good eye contact, and body language. So keep up the great work. Thank you, everyone.
I love the evaluation segment because even if we're not being evaluated ourselves, or we're not speaking that night, we learn from what the evaluator is telling the other speaker. And that's that collective knowledge that we build together, okay? our third evaluator, Natalie, please come up and help us with Sunghwa's speech. Natalie.
Thanks, Sanwa. Thank you for the additional interesting speech. It was a pleasure listening to it. It was full of humor and laughter and great gestures. And I love that speech about such a simple topic as children and presents gives us so many food for thought about what you said, how the talking is the honey that people are sticking to. And there are so many things you can think about, even about this simple topic. So, Sanhua, some good things that I've noted. You had great gestures, good body language. You did like grandson and granddaughter. We actually felt the dynamics. Had great vocal variety with how you gave examples of how they say stop and the granddaughter is crying. We really felt the story. It felt like you were very comfortable at this place delivering the speech. It made us feel at ease as well. It was very engaging. People were listening and laughing and looking at you. And I liked how you used some words. It felt like you thought through and chose your words. I liked how you used wish, hope, aspire at some point about the kids' presence. I would suggest maybe to improve upon the next time to try to practice some more complicated words, how to pronounce them easier for you. That is one thing that I noted for improvement. But overall, it was interesting, inspiring, great thought-provoking, and fun topic. Thank you.
I really appreciate that. There's always things we can do to improve. We're not here to tear anyone down. We're there to give them feedback that can help all of us. And we're in a safe space. This is our playground. This is our speaking gym. So we gotta flex over here when we're out on the stage. All right. So for the sake of time, we will hand it over to Electra to inspire us. For those that, and please round of applause for Electra while she comes up. Electra. So please raise your hand if you have not spoken this evening. And if you are a guest as well. So VJ has not spoken. We have Abdullah, we have Suma dropped, okay. Arzu is here. Vivian hasn't.
I spoke before.
She did, okay, good. So you probably have time for about three.
Yep.
For about three. Let's give preference to people that haven't had a chance to speak, and then you'll just hand it back over and we'll close it out.
Okay.
Okay, and our functionaries can just post everything on Trello tonight.
So table topics, as I mentioned earlier, I set goals for myself versus resolutions. I am not going to be reading a tome this year, though. So I wanted to know if who would like to volunteer. I guess VJ, would you like to come up? And if you would pick a number between 1 and 5.
Let's go for 5.
Okay. We tend to overdo it with food over the holidays. Did you set any health and wellness goals or resolutions for yourself?
In the new year, thank you, everyone. And you're right. I think holidays are mainly focused on food. I know we meet everyone, but the focus is what are we cooking? What are we eating? What is for dinner? And not just Christmas and New Year. In fact, I was reflecting on that recently. Indian festivals like Dussehra, Diwali start in October. So this whole quarter was just nothing but food. And interestingly, you asked, I recently did my blood test. I went the last week of December, and my sugar is not good. So my resolution is that for the next 3 quarters, I'll take care of my diet so I can eat again in the last quarter.
Abdullah, would you like to come up and look at the topic? Thank you. Pick a number between 1 and 4.
I'll go with 1.
Do you believe that setting New Year's resolutions can have a positive impact, or do you believe that they set someone up for failure?
Great question. Yes, I think it's a positive thing. I think if you have a goal, you know which direction you have to go. And I personally have I started this year. Hopefully I pursue it, which is a 21 day habit. So every 21 day I make a new bad habit that I want to remove, or a good habit that I want to improve. Because I think I read it somewhere that if you do a habit for 21 days, it stays with you for the rest of the year. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I think it's always positive, and whatever you don't achieve that year, next year hopefully you do achieve it. So I think always having goals and setting them makes them more achievable than not having goals. And I think they say you overestimate what you do in a year, but you underestimate what you can do in 10 years. So if you have a goal for 1 year, 2 years, until 10 years, it's great to keep you on track. Yeah.
And I think there was another, did she leave? The lady that was, oh,
Should skip out.
would anyone else like to have one more this evening? Oh, no, okay. So, 2, 3, or 4?
3.
Okay. What is the most inventive resolution you've set, or someone in your family has set, and was it achieved? Inventive. The most original resolution that either you or maybe someone in your family has set, and was it achieved?
That's
take a
hard.
minute to
Yeah,
think
this one's
about
kind of hard. But
If you
what
want
I
to
don't
just
have-
maybe on what's your favorite or something too.
Okay. Okay. A New Year's resolution that my brother and I started doing last year that we're still implementing this year is every Sunday we get together and we talk about the 3 goals that we wanted to implement that week, and which ones we actually achieved and which ones we tried to but didn't really achieve, and what was the roadblock that was holding us back. And I feel like that has helped us to kind of hold us accountable for, if I'm going to say I'm going to go to bed at this time and not be on my phone, it's kind of like a check-in when he's like, so what did you do this week? Did you go on your phone? Did you, go to bed on time? So it's something that we've just kind of made it a tradition every week, and I like it. So, yeah.
All right, well, thank you. Lecture, one more round of applause for the lecture, please. Good job. Kind of a sneak peek of the speech I'm gonna do next week about how to be more successful with your goals that you're setting for yourself. And one of the main things is an accountability partner, as you mentioned. So the data backs that up too. All right, we have a couple minutes left. Let's do extreme rapid fire functionary, but let's also very quickly vote on the table topics participant who we felt did the best, was the smoothest, had the most insightful comment. VJ, Abdullah, Arzu. So page 2 of your Google form. Yep. With that, I'm going to ask Carl to come up to the front and give a 20-second timer assessment.
This is gonna be an easy one.
Brief and brilliant.
You took my advice to heart. Everybody was well within the time limits. And I need not even mention the times particularly. The table topics speakers, however, were a little bit short, 50 seconds and 30 seconds. But that's okay, it was complete. And I don't think I need to mention any of the others because you were all well within the minimum and the maximum.
Thank you, Carl. Good job. Chirag, I'll counter. This is your new exercise. It's the rapid fire all counter. It's 20 seconds.
All right, so I'll just talk about the ones that everyone needs to work on. Tom, you kept saying right a few times, and then and a couple of times. Danwin, us and ums, and then so. You kept repeating that. And Sankwa, no us or ums, no filler words. I think what we can learn from you is the pauses that you use throughout your speeches. And you have to really expand on your language. So great job. Vijay, zero, none. I didn't hear any. Abdullah, 3 ums. Arzu, no, I didn't hear any. Maria, yours was and what's your word that you kept repeating? And then Phoebe, you said right 3 times. So I think that's something you can watch out for. And Natalie, I didn't see anything important, like words and noting. So
Thanks, Chirag. Appreciate that. Great. Amber, grammarian, word of the day as well.
Yeah, so word of the day, Maria and Electra were the 2 I noted. And then some themes, grammatical themes to be mindful of. Don Wen, plural versus singular forms of words. So everyone wants to deliver more speech versus speeches. Also definite, indefinite articles. So the words the, a, and. Both Natalie and Chirag, I noticed like the missing or a missing in a few words, as well as Phoebe as well. And then Songhua, just being mindful of past and present forms of words. So my daughter stop, my daughter shout versus stop, my daughter shouted. But really, really fantastic job. And this didn't impact the clarity of your speeches at all.
Thank you, Amber. Very clear. And last but not least, Anant, general evaluator.
Thank you, everyone. I think it was a fantastic meeting. And we had a very great start for 2025. Being the first meeting of the year, I can understand this. The whole meeting was, I guess, overloaded. But I think going forward, that's the only feedback for the meeting I have is we need to figure it out. How do we structure it better so that we don't overload it that much and we don't have to rush it towards the end of the meeting. So thank you.
Thank you, Josh. All right, it's been an honor being your Toastmaster. This is a role that any new or tenured member can be. So don't be afraid of the Toastmaster role. It's a lot of fun to be the MC of the night and to make sure we're having a good time. Dan Wen, come up here, please, and close us out as our new president for the next 6 months. Dan Wen, check.
Thank you. Thank you again. Really appreciate everyone gave me this chance, this opportunity. I try to do my best. I think this year we already have a very good start. Today have a great, fantastic night. Everyone have a solution for the new year. Focus on authentic, countable. So I think everyone, let's follow Chris' step. Say make the unforgettable 2025 smart girl.
All right.
That's it. Thank you.